Hi everyone and welcome to DearDharmaDude. My name is Vivian and I'm with the Venerable Master Hen Ching. And my special guest today is Tommy. So Tommy, do you have a question for the Master?
Yeah, I actually was wondering, why is it that karma, when doing good things, we're supposed to be given, I guess,
positive, like retribution?
Yeah, positive retribution or something good to show us that what we're doing is right. And why is it that when we do it, we find that we're always, given something bad? Why do we find ourselves stuck in situations where we're like doubting whether, what we're doing is right?
Not that we're expecting something good to happen because we're good, but just the fact that
Can you give some very specific examples of experience you have?
In my life, well, I
the dollar.
Oh yeah, I give $1 to a homeless guy, and shortly after, I got in a car accident. It sounds bad, but things like that happen, and I mean,
why should we relate the two things? Why would you think related?
Because why is maybe it's coincidence, but I mean, I could be driving on that street 5 times a day, every day a week, or 7 days a week, and then not find myself in any situation, and the one day I choose to do something, I get into that kind of situation. And it's just not that one situation. It's like good deeds come, punished sometimes. It sounds bad, but I try to do good things for other people, and I find myself in situations where it's worse off than where I should have been.
It's pretty difficult for us to define that relationship, saying, okay, I did good deed here, and then that bad thing happened. It's very difficult because it may be very unrelated events happening at the same time. Besides that, when we do a good thing, what kind of mindset we have, because what really we need to look at is the law of attraction, how our mind attract things. I remember that if I, myself, my case, if I don't do anything but my mind just project bad thoughts, I attract bad things right away. When I get angry, I really attract a lot of difficulties come almost instantly, or maybe a day or something later. But I can feel that happen. But if I practice appreciation and gratitude, usually I attract very, very smooth transactions between everything I do now and everything I do tomorrow, for example. And so, what kind of mindset we want to look at? The kind of attitude we have when we do some good thing. We say good thing. Sometimes we do things very just go through the motion. Okay, you want something? Okay, I'll give it. But it doesn't have the mind behind that we really want to help and give. The goodness only comes when we drop our ego and see the goodness in others. So sometimes we do it by the sheer force of habit, but not for sure it's anything meaningful. And so we have to think about the law of attraction. How do you give $1, and then how do you get an accident? What kind of attitude and mindset you have behind? Sometimes we just don't remember. But I would think that we should give the benefit of the doubt, and we should see and should watch our mind to see watch our minds so we can see whether it really works that way or not. See how we attract all these things.
But I think it's somewhat counterintuitive, because you figure if you're going to give $1 to a homeless man, you kind of start feeling pretty good about yourself. I mean, not necessarily because of the ego, but just because, oh, I think I'm a good person. And so you're kind of setting up like something good to happen. So that's why it like exponentially increases the effect of something bad happening to you. Because this is like a subconscious mechanism where you're trying to, relate everything. Like, oh, okay, this happened because of that. Oh, okay, law of attraction, law of order, time sequence, whatnot. This happened first, so that should happen next, and that probably happened because of that, cause and effect, so on and so forth. And
assumption.
So, right.
There's
so
assumption. Right?
I don't know. Yeah, it's definitely an assumption, but
so you can't. It's pretty difficult because how the mind operates and how the body actually do it. And we heard a story of a man who can just kill people without thinking any bad thoughts. He was trained to be a killer. He just go out and go to the war and kill people. And at home he was absolutely a very nice person, very caring person. So what happened? How do you talk about this? How do you see these things? In which view? Does he attract good things or he attract bad things? Can you tell me?
See, that's the question that we're going to ask too. Why is it that bad people, bad people, we notice that they prosper? Like
they prosper, they thrive, and they live longer.
Okay, I would want to have a spin on this, meaning, you know, the ancient teaching of Buddhism, or maybe other teachings as well, saying, okay, you do good thing in the past, so that now you attract, you know, the retribution. But I'm just trying to focus on the mind at that very moment, how the mind operates. And sometimes we just don't know. We just assume this mind is working like this, or she's good, but maybe in her head is all kind of, you know, junk. And sometimes you say, oh, she's bad, but maybe she did it accidentally, or maybe she's control her thoughts. Maybe her head is full of good thoughts. We don't know really what inside, but what inside really attracts what outside. So right now, let's look at you. I can't tell whether in your head it's good thought or bad thought. I can't tell it. Okay. Now you smile, but can I tell what's inside? I don't. But this is the attraction. Sometimes by what you have in mind, you attract the people in the room here, come to you. Now let's try this. Let's try if you project a bad thought, evil thought towards somebody. Then what happens is you're going to see this happen. You're going to see the person seem to be a little bit distant from you. This is a part of what we call social intelligence, wherein your mind can really go into the other person and they have a loop going on like this. And it's really when you look at somebody else's eyes, you really communicate and you really attract or repulse that person. And therefore, the questions come back to not about, well, I do good thing, but I attract bad thing, but about, hey, what really in your head, what really your attitude, what kind of energy field that you generate, because that is the most immediate attraction. Okay, I'm talking about that because I wouldn't buy into a spin that the ancient Buddhist teaching would say, okay, that's past life. Because how can you prove it? You can't prove it. And you say, oh, maybe somebody else did it. Well, how can you prove it? So all these very unrelated events happen for some reason, and that reason I believe so much is the mind behind. And if we study our mind behind, and if we take ourselves as a laboratory, and we look into moment to moment, then we could find the answer. And so, here my answer. Alright, let's take you yourself and do it on your own. Watch your mind and see if this is going to work.